Okay, Gary, you ready? Yes? Remember, this is your healing as well, so any of the beliefs that come up, test your... Pencils. Okay. So as always, before my client arrives, I will always make sure the energy in the room is super clear, super bright. I want to make sure I'm stable because there's no point entering into a healing if I'm not feeling good, centered, you know. So I should be coming into every healing with a very centered energy, feeling grounded, feeling compassionate, being in a very receptive mode.
Everyone in the circle connect up. Bring loads of crater candy above Vanya's head.
Okay.
The group healing so they can use it for their healing if they want.
Now, on that note, right, is that I'm actually having to adjust to her system. It's taking me a bit longer for some reason than other healings, which might mean I might go deeper, which might mean I'm just having to tune into her. So you'll notice sometimes with different clients that you might take a little bit longer to tune into them, and that's okay. It just means that you're readjusting to their field. And I would rather be able, instead of just being right, let's go for it, I'd rather just spend that little bit of extra time just making sure that I'm in tune, I'm in alignment with her, that I'm really able to go as deep as I need to. So I'm just letting that take place. Okay, so why are you here? Nervous system day.
Nervous system, yeah. Overwrought nervous system, like always having to kind of push myself. And as I just mentioned as well, with sort of accompanied with a deep sense of shame.
Okay, so how long have you had an overwrought nervous system and the shame? What's that?
Both, like for as long as I can remember.
Okay.
Yeah, it was like I was kind of born into shame. There's a lot of shame in my family, a lot of parental shame of me. So it was this then constantly having to reach an unattainable measure of perfection. And by doing more, being more, which, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I've gained a lot as well through that.
Yeah, through that process.
That
you're a
motivation.
GP, you're a nutritionist.
I've been very disciplined, committed, dedicated, and got to travel, live in lots of places.
Yeah.
But it's this constant urge to, like, there's like something in me that's like running.
Like keep going, like pushing yourself?
Yes,
Okay. And do you feel like you're motivated by shame?
Yeah, that was something that came up this morning. I was doing some digging at home.
Okay. All right. So I'm cute. I just want to explore, like I'm watching my creator go, just go and explore the family line. Work out what that shame is first before we go heal her. So what do you mean by your family had a lot of shame in it, brought you up in shame? Was it mothers, fathers? Was it cultural shame?
I think it was kind of both. Like, I don't know, like I just have a sense that both lines had a lot of shame. And around, like, my father was outwardly very religious, but at the same time he was a porn addict. And there was a lot of inappropriate things between him and me when I was very small and as I grew up. And and a lot of frustration. My mother was then very ashamed of his behaviour. It was like we could never talk about the past. Like we never had any photo albums. It's like the past, like everything that happened as I was growing up couldn't be discussed. Everything was a taboo. Like information is power as well. And my mother felt ashamed of the choices she'd made, moving to England, marrying this man, and felt she couldn't go back to her home country where she really wanted to be. So there's just a whole kind of muddling in. The family made her feel ashamed of the fact that she left at one point and abandoned her family. They were ashamed of me, that I was born with a congenital defect. I was always being told to cover up because of my scars. It was shameful. And when I had my divorce and stuff, it was not what you do. So it's this kind of pattern of shame running through, and I can see how that's been a strong filter for me, and it's really blocked me being able to connect.
Connect in relationships.
And being like a difficulty with me moving. Like, I have loads of skills and I'm very intelligent and bright and stuff, and it's been difficult for me to move forward, like in business, or like really make a life of myself financially. It's sort of been a block. I have a lot of shame then about finances, that I haven't done that, the fact that I'm 40, I haven't... Okay, that was the sound of my nervous system.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Emergency.
Yeah. So, yeah, and the things that, society expects of me, that I'm now this age, and I'm like, I still don't have any savings. I'm constantly moving around the world and living out of a suitcase. I don't have a partner, and I wanted a family and all this stuff.
Okay. Wow, okay, so a lot going on. So there's two burning questions I have in all of this. One is, what is your hereditary makeup on mother's side and father's side?
So my father was Scottish and English.
With Christian, Catholic?
So he, interestingly, his family didn't have any religion, but when my father was 12, he decided he wanted to be religious, so he started going to church.
Which Christianity?
Anglican.
Anglican, okay.
And then my mother is Filipino.
Yeah.
She has a lot of different lines in her family, so like Chinese, Portuguese, Spanish, like a whole bunch of different things. But she was brought up Catholic, so there's a strong kind of Catholic energy about what's sinful
and things like that.
Yeah, and that knowledge is sin, or like the Garden of Eden kind of idea of
Yeah. Okay, cool. And the second question is inappropriate behavior with father. How inappropriate did it get? Just, you don't have to explain situations, but how and for how long? What years?
So, like, very early memories of him accidentally making me watch porn with him.
Okay, yeah.
And touching.
Yeah.
And just like masses of fear. I was terrified from my childhood. My mother would deliberately leave me at home with him. He could be very violent. She'd come home and take photos of the bruising and then not do anything about it.
Yeah.
And she would be checking me for signs of sexual abuse. Has he come in? Has he done this to you? Has he touched you? But not saying that she was doing all these things to protect me, but
not actually
doing anything. No.
Yeah. Okay.
And at the same time, telling me that she wishes I had never been born.
Yeah.
Because her life would have been so much better.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So no, this is it. This is our entry point, because we've found our way in now. Okay. So just close your eyes. And I want you to allow, what I'm picking up is that there was a lot of shame, a lot of confusion, a lot of, like you said, hidden stuff, secret stuff.
Yeah, secrets.
Yeah, and a lot of lies, manipulation. So you're being told one thing and then the truth not actually happening in that way.
Being told that my truth was not true.
Yeah.
Like a lot of like mental feeling like I must be mad or something.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and then father doing porn and then being a Christian, which had conflicting things.
Yeah. And then my mother saying all those things, and then half an hour later, we have to go and buy a gift for your father because it's Father's Day tomorrow.
Yeah.
It's like really like nuts, crazy making.
Yeah. So a lot of mixed messages and a deep scrambling of your sense of truth inside.
Yeah, exactly. And I can immediately see how that affects my nervous system and signalling, actually.
Yeah. So you want to explain that to us, how that affects your nervous system? The fact that you're...
Just, like, not clear signals. So it took me a long time to realise as well what was me, what wasn't me. Like, really, probably only till this year. Enough to, like, information that's coming in and what's actually me, and when is my sense of truth being manipulated by other people, or me allowing that to be the case, and that kind of confusion.
Absolutely. And do you find that happens a lot in relationships?
It has done, yes. Yeah. And it was like earlier this year I had a big kind of wake up about that.
Yeah. Okay, so we've hit this. Yeah. So it's about being scrambled inside and then not being able to work out the truth.
Yeah.
And also be in your power. So to know that you know the truth and you can be in power.
To connect to it, to bring it to then be effective in the world, to have my own creation in the world.
Exactly.
Sort of holding back.
Yeah, exactly. Which is because when at the beginning of the scan, I felt a lot of energy up here, like you really were bright, you could do like, actually when we come down to the sacral chakra area, it's quite blocked here, which is obviously the weird sexual stuff that went on. Sacral stuff's about creation and about you coming out. Yeah. Okay, cool. So we've got the general pattern. Can I go deeper? Yep. Okay, so I'm just going to go through and let's see where we need to go. So I want you to close your eyes and just feel this scrambled the word I was given was communication system, not nervous system. So it's like we're going through your nervous system, but it's going to the scrambled communication system inside of you. So the part of you that's picking up lots of information and not knowing what to do with it. I want you to go to the part which is picking up lots of information, and then the part that just doesn't know what to do with it. I want that part. It's like going to an inner child, but we're actually going through the nervous system to the part which is not knowing what to do with it, yeah? So can you find that part that's just not knowing?
Yeah.
Okay, you want to tell me about that part of you?
It's got like a shape and a form. It's like a pyramid, and it's kind of locked in. There's lots of like kind of going on all weird directions inside it, like it's all kind of trapped.
Okay.
Feels confused.
Yeah. Okay. Now, I just want you to we have to break down the pyramid and all of that stuff, but I want you to just go a little bit, see if you can in your mind's eye just go into the center of the pyramid and what's in there.
Baby.
A baby. Okay. Alrighty. So that pyramid, when she told me the pyramid and all that, that's a lot of religious structures over the top. So I felt like we were going through a lot of big religious filters around sin and shame and what's wrong. So we need to break that down. And then there's the baby in
like
the
a baby in like a fetus, really.
Yeah, that needs to, and so we're going all the way back to womb time when your nervous system was probably developed, which is one of the fundamental aspects of growing. Okay, now as the practitioner, there's a part of me is like, oh my God, I want to heal both at the same time, the baby and the religious stuff. Do I do religious stuff first? Do I do the baby stuff? Because I'm like, which one do I need to unlock in order to actually make the deeper healing, you know? And I don't know. There's a part of me that's like, and maybe because I'm picking up her nervous system, because she doesn't know. So sometimes as a practitioner, you can lose your bearings because you're picking up the person's energy too much. Does that make sense? So I want to just come out a little bit, make sure that I'm not doing that. Creator's like, go to the baby first. Go to the baby first. Okay, so go to the baby and tell me more about it.
It's like in development, but I guess like me, my esophagus didn't join to my stomach. I was born like with this problem. And it's kind of like.
So you want to explain the whole congenital birth defect? Congenital birth defect means it's a defect that she's been born with.
Yeah.
So you had an esophagus
my esophagus was not connected to my stomach.
Okay.
So the way that they knew about that is when I was born, I was born at the right time at term, and my mother then tried to breastfeed me, and I immediately started to drown because the milk went into my lungs. I didn't have anywhere to go. It wasn't connected to the stomach.
Yeah.
So then my parents were told it was 50-50 whether I'd live or die, and then had emergency surgery at day 2 or 3 days old.
Yeah.
To sort of a big scar through here, so they connected me up, and then I would have been like in an incubator in the hospital for 2 or 3 weeks being fed through tubes.
Yeah. And so it all started to re-heal and
Yeah, so I mean, now I've got it like a stricture, so like a narrowing of the esophagus, so I just have to be mindful about eating properly, otherwise things get stuck. And as a kid, I had to go back to the hospital for different checks to make sure that, you know, it was growing properly and I was able to digest and stuff. But there's something about like being able to fully digest life. Yeah,
exactly. And something deeply internally wrong with you as well.
Yeah.
So when she was explaining all of this to me, you know what I heard? I heard that her mother secretly wished that she was dead.
Yeah.
And it was such a deep, deep, deep secret that it came in like a curse. And so I saw this energy of mother's secret wish for you to die as a curse wrapped.
To release her from this situation she created.
Yeah.
For sure.
So let's just muscle test, because I always want to make sure that my intuitive perception is actually in alignment with what's going on with her. Otherwise, I could be wrong. This is why muscle testing is so important, because it makes sure that we're on track. So say yes.
Yes.
And no.
No.
Yes again.
Yes.
My mother secretly wants me to die.
My mother secretly wants me to die.
Muscle test that, guys.
This is a curse.
Mm-hmm. This is a curse.
What's fascinating about this is that even when I go into the depths of it, there is some black magic weaved through it now.
Yeah, like in the family, you know, there's brujeria or black magic in the Philippines in that kind of line, and I feel often very connected. Like I went to Peru work with a lot I was apprenticed to a shaman there. I fully felt there was this connection
Yeah.
somehow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we got to understand what black magic is. Black magic is when we do ritual and stuff that overtakes the free will of another person. Okay, that's the difference between healing and black magic. So someone will ask for black magic practice so they can get what they want. I want this man to love me. I want this person to die. I need to get money from him, do you know? So it's when free agency overtakes. Now, if there's been black magic, that runs down to the family. So it doesn't necessarily mean her mother did black magic, but her mother may have been ingrained of how to do black magic without her even being aware of it, because that's just what the family energy is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So without getting out dead animals
She's very
and
powerful.
yeah,
Feel
her
she's
energy
very-
through.
Yeah.
Yeah. It could also be the karma. Sometimes if there's been black magic that's run through the family, the ill doings of those people karmically go on to the next generation to create like issues, health issues, financial issues and things like that, because everything has to get paid back, yeah?
Makes sense, because I've had several near-death experiences.
Yeah.
I just kind of keep on almost dying several times. So.
Yeah. So it could have been in the family line, they took life from others. You know.
Yeah.
Anyway, the point is it's an energy which is having an ill effect through her genetically and the way that her mum was to her. So I bet your mum was very outwardly very, very nice.
Oh, she's super charming.
Yeah. Very. And then.
Like, oh, she's quite short. And
Yeah.
Asian.
Yeah.
She's so sweet.
Yeah. Exactly. So they
And
can.
she is. She's got both.
Both sides, and then at the other side extreme,
Yeah.
it can be quite. Yeah.
You know.
But that other part of her is very hidden and
Oh
suppressed.
yes. Yeah. Totally.
Yeah. Okay. Whew. So now this is where, because I'm, as the practitioner, I think it's really powerful for me scanning her and telling her this pattern. So I want her to scan herself and see what's going on, because I think the more the client can feel and heal, the greater the healing. Works better with Theta healers because they know how to do it, but actually you can actually get your client into a state of being able to body scan themselves like that, you know, because you're both in a Theta state. So tell me how this black magic, this curse, you not wanting to live, this family inherited energy, how it's affecting your body.
It's disconnecting me from my power center and the root, like this area, really. And sexual energy has really been disrupted. It's like this bit is kind of blocked. It doesn't allow it to kind of flow all the way down to the feet. It's then feeling disconnected from the earth. Like I always have to work extremely hard at grounding.
Yeah. Okay, can we clear all this out from you now?
Yes, please.
Can we clear the curse that your mother imprinted in you? Can we clear her secret wish for you to die?
Yes.
And all that negative energy?
Yes.
Can we clear whatever black magic karma that runs through your family that's affecting your DNA? Can we ask for that to clear as well?
Yes.
I feel like it's like toxic energy coming out. Let it all go. Can we release the deep hatred that's been imposed upon you subconsciously by your parents?
Yes.
And can we release whatever belief you have that your death brings freedom to other, that your death brings freedom to your mother, or your death brings freedom to your father?
Yes.
Or your death brings freedom for them to divorce? Can we clear all that from you?
Yes.
There's a lot of gunk that wants to come out of your brain. Can you feel what that is?
Like a lot of the it's like literally I see scrambled egg.
Yeah. Can we let that go now?
Yes.
Can we let go of all the negative emotions you've swallowed from your mom, or the negative emotions that you swallowed from your dad?
Yes.
Can we release from you your nervous system having to process lies in order to find the truth?
Yes.
Can we release from you any part of you that has to not be able to trust anyone for they won't look after you?
Yes.
Can we teach you what it feels like to live without being scrambled emotionally, mentally, or spiritually?
Yes.
Can we release any part of you that's become a like a pawn in another person's sick game? I don't know how else to say that to you,
Yeah,
but like
yeah,
your
that makes
dad's
sense.
stuff or your
Yeah,
mum's
for sure.
stuff. Yeah. Can we release that from you? And I feel like a lot of toxic energy is going to come out of your sacral chakra now
Yeah.
because all that is not your stuff.
No,
It's your father's.
Yeah, for sure. It was them
Yeah,
manipulating
yeah,
each other.
exactly. So can we release all that now from you?
Yes.
And just let your sacral chakra open up. Ooh, there's almost like a big lot of negative energy releasing from there. Can you feel what needs to come out?
Yeah, because I've got like pain now.
Yeah.
Got the volcano.
Yeah. Exactly. Let it all go. Can we release all the negative thoughts of your father? Can we release the weird sexual energy of your father from you as well?
Yes.
Can we release any perversive weirdness that your mother weirdly enjoyed protecting you and then not protecting you against him?
Yeah.
I just see a little girl imprisoned by the sickness of others.
Yeah, definitely had that sense of a prison bars. And
Yeah. So can we release you from the imprisoned
Yes.
sickness from your father and mother and the imprisonment of being abused by them
Yes.
on a social, mental, physical, spiritual level?
Yes.
Can we teach you you're free now?
Yes.
That you're free to be in your truth, that you're free to think from your truth?
Yes.
And I see creators like going through your brain now and like reorganizing the nervous system, reorganizing the neural pathways, reorganizing the way that the energy comes down to the sacral chakra. I've seen all this reorganization go on, but then I see on the heart chakra into her psychic nervous system, she's still holding on to quite a lot of toxic emotion.
Yeah.
And this is, so the nervous system along the heart chakra level is scrambled, scrambled to the energy body here of the heart. Before I move on though, I'm being guided, please check the belief about the curse. Has the curse been gone? This is it so that we can move on. So sometimes we need to, before we move on, recheck where we've been. Not only for you to know that it's cleared up, but it also helps the client go, okay, that's changed, I can move on and I'm free. So I don't want to move on yet because I know there's another bit of work here to do. It's almost like the secondary belief work system that I was talking about before. So say yes,
Yes.
and no.
No.
My mother secretly wants me to die.
My mother secretly wants me to die.
And that's still there.
Still there.
Okay. The black magic of my family line still rings through me.
The black magic of my family line still runs through me.
No, that's gone. I'm cursed to die.
I'm cursed to die.
And that's still there. So those two things are really important, which is why Creator said to me, stop. Don't go on. You've noticed that pattern that you can go to later on. Stop here. We haven't shifted this properly. Okay, so I'm going to go out and find out why, if that's all right.
Yes, please.
I don't know, man, but this is a bit funky, but we're going to go with it, okay? I feel like you've got black magic past lives with your mother, and she may have taken your essence, and it feels like it's stuck in the lower realms of the lower fifth plane. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask for whatever contracts, oaths, rituals, vows, whatever links you to this to be cleared, and I'm asking for your soul fragments to now be returned back to your body.
Yes.
So you should start to feel more of your light returning back to you. So you don't have to keep living out this paradigm. You don't have to keep following this family pattern of black magic or whatever it is. And let's just free you and return you back. Can you feel your energy that's coming back?
Yeah.
Yeah, letting it come back into the heart.
Yeah. Yeah, and a lot of stuff releasing from my upper back.
Okay, good. Because remember, black magic takes energy from something else. That's the way. That's why it exists, because it can't generate its own light. Anything that can't generate its own light, we'll find another way to take that energy from somewhere else, either through anger or manipulating or destroying or abusing or whatever that's taking light, you know. So is there any more of your energy that needs to return back to you? Okay.
That's good.
You're good? So in that flash of her energy coming back from the fifth plane, I also got pulled into a past life, which is part of the karmic pattern of why you also had the esophagus stuff, of you dying, being tortured.
Yeah, I've
So
been being tortured in my past lives.
Yeah. So I actually got a flash then of tortured, like where you actually died with things being cut and then you got reborn from this state.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So it hasn't resolved. So what we need to do is I'm going to go up to Creator and ask. And we're just going to... It's funny, I'm going up to Creator, I'm seeing you come up to Creator with me like an angel. And I'm like, okay then, you're coming up with me. And it's almost like that part of you wants to, because I was like, do I take it back to the torture? Do I not? Is it appropriate for me to make the client relive it? Because sometimes it's not, it's better just to resolve it. You know, these are all sometimes the things that you process as a practitioner. And because I was on that stage, she actually came up with me. So I'm like, okay, she wants to see it. So go and have a look at this past life being tortured. And what are you being shown?
Actually, Spaniards.
Because the Spanish overtook Philippines as well.
That's right. Yeah.
So it could also be a genetic memory as well that's come through. Oh my God, it's so funky. Okay. So basically, I'm like zooming out, seeing so. And I'm like, isn't this thing, what's going on here? Why are we seeing this, right? This is how everything's all matched up. Spanish people come over to the Philippines. They bring in a lot of Catholic energy, right? So then they stample down what the original religious, and whether it be their pagan style or whatever, okay? Then I witness her ancestors make vows, we'll always keep this a big secret, this energy. And we will be whatever face you want us to be, right? The father, right, has come in as karmic energy of the same Spanish Inquisition. So it's almost like that whole scenario is being played out
for sure.
for you within you now. You saw the same thing?
Yeah.
Okay. When you're client and you see the same thing, you're on the same track, which is good. So now, can you see how it's all lining up now? The whole healing's starting to line up, which is fascinating.
Yeah.
Nervous system day, you know, of course it would go back in time and across time and everything like that. So then what do I do? What do we need to go and heal, right? So creators, you know, in history you can't, on the history level, which is where we're kind of going into, you can't just create it because it's already happened. But we can complete it, which is where our learning lessons come from. Because I was like, where are the learning lessons? Because it's always good to have our learning, this is where the learning lessons is. So I want you to go and view that whole scenario, knowing the truth of it, and what are you learning from it?
To understand what true power is. And self-determination, like inside and outside influences. Yeah, it's really like a big lesson about self and non-self.
Yeah. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Okay, can we now learn this lesson of self and non-self? Which brings us back to the original point of I'm scrambled.
Yeah.
Yeah? Can we now complete this drama that happened to you or your ancestors of the torture? Can we now complete this drama of being overtaken and imposed upon by another culture or religion or force which doesn't agree with you, which is the same as the father? And can we now complete whatever ancestral choice that they made to keep things a big secret?
Yes.
And clear all of that from you now?
Yes.
Can we release all the secrets that you have inside of you now on a DNA level, ancestral level, and let them all go? You don't need to hold them, keep them, process them anymore.
Yes.
Can we release all the subconscious shame of imposing one's will upon another to destroy them with the religious beliefs, or with your father's case, his imposition of what happened there? So can we release that from you now?
Yes.
Can we release throughout time and space anybody that has imposed themselves upon you and clear that from you now?
Yes.
Can we clear their energies from you?
Yes.
Can we clear their mind from you?
Yes.
And their emotions from you?
Yes.
Can we release anybody that's had dictation over your life?
Yes.
Who's controlled your mind?
Yes.
And who's forced you to do things that went against your will?
Yes.
Can we now resolve, complete, and finish all of that?
Yes.
And release it? Good. I feel like a big energy unraveling here now, which is good. Can we teach you what it feels like to be your truth?
Yes.
To know your truth?
Yes.
To recognize your truth?
Yes.
And to have your truth have power in your life?
Yes.
Can we teach you what it feels like for your truth to be respected by others?
Yes.
Can we teach you what it feels like for your truth to be respected by your family,
Yes.
by your mother,
Yes.
by your father,
Yes.
and in relationships?
Yes.
Can we teach you how to know the difference between your truth and your partner's truth in relationships?
Yes.
I'm going into the brain, I'm witnessing the neural pathways just kind of like unlock themselves, and then the nervous system starts to unlock itself. So I almost feel like it's all unraveling, and it's like this lot of stress that she's been
My neck
holding up inside.
It's gone.
Yeah. It's almost like, you know how Sky said that the nerves can all be bundled up like a little ball? It's like as everything's realigning, all these stress balls in the nervous system are like, can you allow them to all release now and process through? So you can let all your stress balls release inside your nervous system. Okay, how does that feel?
Yeah, much better.
Yeah? Okay.
Yeah, my chest has really opened up.
Yeah.
And I feel really much more in my sit bones.
Good. Can we teach you how to process life around you in an accurate way now?
Yes.
Can we teach you how to process other people in an accurate way now?
Yes.
Can we teach you what it feels like to live and be clear in your life?
Yes.
To be clear about who you are and what you want and what you need?
Yes.
Can we teach you what it feels like to have your needs met?
Yes.
And that you can ask for your needs to be met?
Yes.
And that you know what your needs are?
Yes.
And that you can communicate that in a relationship?
Yes.
And that they can be respected?
Yes.
How does that feel?
Good.
Okay, what's happening inside?
Something, I don't know, it's come up around here.
Yeah, I think it's all
Around
to do
expression.
with expression, exactly. So what is it? Are you allowed to express yourself?
Yeah, maybe it's about that.
Can Creator teach you that you're allowed to express yourself?
Yes.
Can Creator teach you have a voice to begin with? It's almost that simple thing that actually you have a voice.
Yes.
Because when you've been under enslavement, when you've been at the will of somebody else for so long, you actually even lose your recognition or acknowledgement that you even have your own voice, that you're your own person.
It's easier just to
go along with it or do what you're
it's
told.
just-
Yeah, exactly. So can we teach you have your own voice?
Yes.
And that you have the right to use your voice?
Yes.
And that you know when to use your voice?
Yes.
Can we give you back your right to express yourself?
Yes.
Wow, how does that feel?
Yes. A lot of shifting.
I feel like this bleh of energy wants to come out of
it's
your
all,
throat.
Like really toxic.
Yeah, exactly. That's to do with all
Green, like
the
tarry stuff.
yeah, exactly what I saw. It's like
Yeah.
It's like all the lies, manipulations that she's been opposed to. So we'll just pull that all out. It's just once she shifted the belief, or the toxic pattern was like, oh, now I'm ready to go. Yeah, it's amazing. Okay, let it go. Can we teach you no longer need to be subjected by other people's lies anymore?
Yes.
That you no longer need to be the victim of other people's lies?
Yes.
And nor do you have to play the victim in order to keep safe?
Yes.
Can we teach you what it feels like to really be in your power now?
Yes.
It's funny, I see in my mind's eye, I see herself washing her mum and her dad's consciousness off you. It's like just literally. Oh, were you? Okay. Now, can you see at the beginning how long it took me to really get in touch with her energy fields? But now look at the healing. We're seeing the same things on the same page, which is really, really important. Okay. How does that feel?
Yeah, good. It's just loads of like slime.
Okay, let's just let all the slime go, witnessing it all dissolve into the light. If I'm to be completely honest with you, I actually was guided by Creator to laser light through her, like witness light lasering through her energy body, just to like let it all come out. So that's what I was also guided to do. But I wouldn't necessarily tell my client that.
You can make people feel disgusting or like they're bad energy or stuff, so you have to be careful with the words you use.
Yeah, exactly. Because sometimes they think it's their own, and actually it's not, it's their family's drama and stuff. Let's just let it all go. And it's funny because I'm seeing like this bottle brush go through her body now, like a bottle, cleaning it all up. But I also got told that she should take the Australian Bushflower Essence bottle brush, which is actually really good. Do you know the one?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. You need to take some of that, which is actually also very good for mother-daughter relationship stuff. So some of that would be great for you. Okay, how are you feeling?
Yeah, much lighter.
Yeah. How's your brain feeling?
Yeah, like softer.
Yeah.
Like less hard.
Yeah. Can we teach you what it feels like to process the truth of the Creator now?
Yes.
So I feel like Creator's like coming all the way down through your psychic nervous system into your body. If you just like receive that and tell me what happens.
It's really in my heart.
Good.
It's a lot in the heart.
Good. Which is the place we wanted to heal secondary. So it's kind of happening now already, which is great.
Yeah, and I feel it actually all the way down to the root.
Okay, good.
There's activity down there.
Good.
Tingling and... Yeah, I can feel my quarter coiner.
Now, she's so consciously evolved. Like she's actually, on a conscious level, she's moved beyond a lot of these family patterns that we've worked through, but obviously her body hadn't caught up. And I literally get this picture of you now taking all that past and putting it into a little box and putting it into a little suitcase, and you just went like, do you know what? I'm just going to move on now. Like I don't need to.
Trying to get rid of these patterns for so long.
Yeah,
It's just boring.
It's boring. Exactly. You're just like, oh, come on,
really
let's do it. Done.
Yeah.
So I really invite you to witness that you've just absolutely completed this whole experience, this whole paradigm, and now you can move on in the way that you truly desire. Now you can truly move on in your life as you consciously choose.
Yes.
And can we teach you that you're no longer haunted by your past, and you're no longer haunted by your family or your parents?
Yes.
That you can just move on now.
Yes.
And interestingly, there's little parts of the brain here that was linking into the past, and they're shutting down, so she doesn't have to pick up the past stuff. So I'm just seeing parts of the brain just shut down. And interestingly, there's a lot of receptor sites on the back of her that are shutting down, so you don't have to tune into that frequency, because everything at the end of the day is just a frequency and vibration. So as we shift out of one frequency and vibration, we no longer need to choose.
Receptors.
Exactly. So can you close down all the receptors in your body that link you to your past?
Yep.
And witness that, and that will probably be very good for everyone else to do that. And then can we open all the new receptors in your body to open you up and reconnect you to your new vibrational future? Or your truth, really. You're just opening up to your truth.
Yeah, I've had it rush all over me, like tingles everywhere.
Good. Okay, how does that feel?
much more embodied.
Yeah, you feel much more here.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's test those beliefs. My mother secretly wants me to die.
My mother secretly wants me to die.
No, I'm cursed.
I'm cursed.
No, I can speak my truth.
I can speak my truth.
I know the difference between, what were the lessons? My internal worlds.
Self and non-self.
Yeah,
I know the difference between self and non-self.
Yeah. I know how to exist in relationships without being scrambled.
I know how to exist in relationships without being scrambled.
I know how to exist in relationships without scrambling my partner.
I know how to exist in relationships without scrambling my partner.
Yeah, okay. I know what it feels like to be in relationships with clear and honest communication.
I know what it I know what it feels like. So
Yeah.
I know what it feels like to be in relationships with clear
And honest communication.
Sorry.
That's okay.
It's about communication. I can't remember what I was saying. I know how it is to be in relationships with clear and honest communication.
That's a yes. Okay, good. How does that feel?
Yeah, good. Yeah.
Okay. Just stay here one moment in this new space and just receive an awareness, an awakening, or a vision of who you are now. I just feel like there's something that I feel like we just haven't. It's one more little step we need to do. I feel like I don't want to let her go because I feel like her brain can just go click into a whole new awareness of self or awareness of life. And I think that's a very important thing for you to experience. As it's happening, you can see everything's realigning vibrationally, which is nice. So that's really good. This is opening up, it's opening up. Okay, what are you showing?
And just so many different images, like loads of so many different things. But like it's a feeling, like a connected feeling, and so much gratitude.
Yeah. So what does it feel like? Just keep going into the feeling of being connected, because that's the key here.
Yeah, just a sense of really deeply feeling, being aware of how much energy there is actually moving through, and how I can direct it.
Yeah.
Like in a different way from before.
Yeah. And that's really powerful because she was born without being connected.
Yeah.
Yeah. How does that feel? And just one last thing. So what happened then was I felt in my bones that healing hadn't quite shifted. She needed to connect. So she was getting an awakening from the Creator, which is more profound, obviously, than me telling her what the awakening is. Because an awakening is when divine energy flows through the person to wake up their brain to think in a new way, their body to function in a new way. And that can happen without you doing any belief work or download. You're just letting the light come through them and let them move into their own awakening, which is very powerful because it's putting her back into her power. I'm not giving her the awakening. She's actually letting it awaken within her, which is much more powerful. And she actually had, her eyes were watery, so we know that it hit the spot there. And to reunite everything back together. So that was just a little missing piece. And just a final thing, now that you're connected, Creator's asking you to have a new vision for your life. What does that mean? So just have a new vision for your life. Again, we're helping the person move into their daily life from this new perspective. Because if you don't do that, you can have a healing and then they don't know what they're doing anymore. Do you know what's going on? Have a new vision for your life. What does that mean to you? What are you showing?
Yeah, that I can have all the things that I deeply desire. Yeah. Like home and family. To be of service in the best way that I can. Like there's less block for me to be able to do what I've had a very strong non-knowing of what I'm here to do since very, very young.
yeah, just this feeling of grace, to move through life with grace.
How beautiful is that? And she's crying with that because it's so deep. And that's a virtue in itself. To move through life with grace is a virtue. And as we keep evolving, we're here to utilize and master the virtues so that we can really create, as cheesy as it sounds, heaven in our lives and heaven on earth. Yeah. Beautiful. Good. So I'm going to send her a lot of light and integrate the healing. Now, as a healer, this is a moment of reverence. She's just stepped into the virtue of grace. I'm going to spend a moment just letting her exist in that, letting me honor that. That's a huge honoring for your client to move into a virtue. That's beautiful. So I just want to spend some silence, because that silence is so beautiful to integrate and knit everything together. And as it's happening, I'm literally seeing light flooding through her body, bringing blessing to her life and blessing to her body and to her life. So the energy's here, guys. So connect to the universe, welcoming that virtue of grace through your life. See how that virtue of grace helps you in your life, and just let that blessing flow through you. And let that blessing of grace go all the way down to your toes, out your feet, into the earth. Okay. So because I've completed the healing now, I actually just naturally feel my energy fields coming back to me without even commanding it, because everything's completed and it's actually just naturally coming back, because I've given the time it's needed to do what everything needs to do. Does that make sense? So it's actually just naturally going, my energy's coming back, and then, I can zip up, but actually energetically it happened without even making me the commands, because that's how in tune you can get with the flow of the healing, I guess. Thank you. Alrighty. Takeaways, biggest takeaways. It was a very interesting healing. It was it was fascinating. I know it's your life.
I think it's pretty fascinating.
It is, but you could see congenital problem, not connected, the family lines, the karmic patterns, the scrambling that happened, then coming all the way to the end where we got our learning lessons. She stepped into the virtue of grace and connection, and it just went, and everything, it was very beautifully staged, What were your biggest takeaways? Yeah.
Step at the beginning,
Yeah.
taking that time to tune in.
Yeah.
Because then it became very flow,
Yeah.
in flow. There wasn't so much like questioning. It was very in tune.
Yeah. Yeah, it does.
Especially when your energies aren't similar.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. No, very true. Very, very true. Because you'll get people with different, or sometimes you just need to go to the depths of them more, so you need to expand into it. Yeah, beautiful. Anybody else takeaways?
How important it is just to help a soul like this. Like, she's amazing.
Isn't she?
And just all that cognitive dissonance that you've had this whole time, and just to see everything just come back into place.
Yeah.
Because you're like going to be doing whatever it is that you're going to be doing, and for me to witness that is just mind-blowing. So thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Beautiful. Other takeaways? Yeah.
I've said before, like it was everything outside,
Yeah.
but very much like the light in all the hair, like there was a block from it going down, and then by the end it was like literally coming all through in different colours, like very much into every bit. And the phrase I got was, "I'm free to be me."
Beautiful, beautiful. You show us your picture. Aww, beautiful, beautiful.
Thank you.
Beautiful, good. Anybody else? Takeaways? What else did you learn?
I also have one more actually, just that often when you can't get to it, it's not a belief or it's something outside of you. And that's why it might have been so hard to get. It's all that stuff. It's not, you know, I don't believe in myself.
Yeah, because I've like self-love, respect, all this stuff, and I was like, how do I-
Not shifting, yeah.
You've done so much work on
Yeah.
yourself already, so then it becomes that stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Beautiful. And how deep, when things are weaved in at that fundamental baby level, how deeply it weaves through someone's life, you know? What else?
I
Yeah.
love how you saw the pyramid and you saw a lot of labyrinth.
Yeah.
Right? Yet you saw a baby and you knew
She saw it.
that's where she has to go.
Yeah. But in that point, do you remember I was like, what do I do? Do I go here? And I was getting confused. Why? Because I was too in her energy field that I was actually not being in my truth. So I was like, so that's also a big takeaway. Am I just bouncing off where the person's at? Or am I, do I have to reset myself? So oftentimes throughout healing, you have to constantly reset yourself, reconnect back up to the creator. Okay, what's the truth now? Because if I was interpreting from that, I might have gone down the wrong path, and then I could have done a completely different healing, you know? But yeah, very good point. Yeah.
It's also fascinating how you weren't just, drawn to the male, the father side, that the mother side, because there were both these strong dynamics. So you left, you went where you had to go, where it was shown, because you could have just gone in one area and then leave out the other part.
Yeah.
And it was really like a beautiful dancing communication, knowing when to go in which path, which direction.
No, absolutely. And I think on that note, which is the lesson of today, what is the highest truth now? Show me the truth. Show me the truth. And then because immediately as a woman, as a mother of a daughter, I'd be like, let's go sort out the father stuff, because that's where it needs to go. But actually, the bigger thing to sort out was the curse. Because no matter if the curse is there, the whole life's just going to keep folding into that curse, because curses are quite dense, dark, heavy energy,
I just want to say as well about graces, before you mentioned the grace, I saw actually grace coming through you.
Oh wow, you saw it coming in before it was happening. Yeah, beautiful. And that was an awakening. She had a moment of an awakening in the healing, which is really beautiful to let your client come to. Because I felt before, it was like, it didn't feel healed. I was like, what is it? I was like, I know there's no more belief work to do. I mean, for this, I know there's no more, and I was like, she just needs to receive and have an awakening so that she can review her life from a new perspective. Yeah.
It's like when it was settling, it was, in my mind, it was like a defrag.
Yes. Yeah.
To move at optimum.
Yeah, optimum level. Yeah. Yeah, beautiful. Yeah, and which is where the receptor sites from the past, shut them down. So she has, because we're like a radio station, people. What are we tuning into? Do you know? So that was beautiful too.
Yeah, and to feel it so physically, like I felt.
You actually felt the body changing.
Definitely.
Yeah. A vibrational being too.
For sure.
Any other? I think there's 2 more takeaways here. I can feel it. Otherwise, we won't go for lunch. Yeah, go on.
Really fantastic healing and great to watch. And I think the biggest thing I took from that for me is just the simplicity of going back to basics and the connection. Like you're always checking so from a practitioner side, always checking your connection to creator, and letting that lead you, no matter what you think, and always checking in on yourself. Like, where am I? What's the truth here? What's the creator show me?
Yeah.
And just that going back to that simple basics, always guide you to the next place and the best place and the truth of where to go.
Yeah.
And so just reinforcing that
Yeah.
as a practitioner.
Absolutely. Yeah. No, absolutely. It's so important. Resetting. Yeah, very important.
And I'm not sure if this is a takeaway, but how I feel it's like the next step for her is just to be a manifestation.
Yeah.
Like to witness more of the possibilities
Of creating.
Really recreating that.
Yeah, absolutely. Now that her sacral chakra is free to...
Yeah.
I saw
Yeah.
the magic, like you said, like there was so much black magic that when the curse was lifted, it was like the whole of her magical inheritance.
That's beautiful, yeah.
It just became like went from black to being completely white, and I could see her like female ancestors surrounding her and giving her inheritance. Like this, they were saying like this is like I could see the power flooding through the back of her.
Yeah, because it could return back to its rightful space.
And I saw that say like
Yeah.
that God, that she had really strong Christian energy as well. So there's this really strong connection to this really strong connection with like this magical energy, and how the DNA suddenly stopped being at war. All those religious and they were the magic of like divine connection.
Christ
They were
energy.
working in harmony.
Yeah. Yeah, beautiful. Beautiful said.
Her name is Christian as well.
I know. But, you know, that's the name I have for my baby.
Christina. Yeah. Beautiful, beautiful. Yeah, beautifully said. And that was part of that pyramid, which is also the religious stuff. There was so much we could have, gone into, which is some world relations stuff where the DNA needs to harmonize.
It
And
did it all.
it did it all.
That's what I love to watch. Like you were just saying, create or do it, and my brain would have gone into all command mode, but it just happened. It was just happening. It was beautiful. It was just happening.
Yeah, that's why I said to you, show me the truth, take care of it and show me. Show me the truth so I can report, take care of it and show me. Reset. In the truth, I'm resetting. If the information ain't flowing, you ain't in the right place. It feels a bit off, a bit weird, not quite you're in the wrong place. Reset, ask for the truth, take care of it and show me. And then witness and report. That's all you're doing. Witness, report, witness, report. Yeah.
For me, the other thing was just giving enough space for everything to happen, for the client to feel it, and not sometimes get into talking a lot, and just to let it be. That was very powerful, actually. Really, very powerful.
Exactly.
But still, concise and efficient.
Yeah.
But with that space, it was amazing.
Yeah, just that little bit of space makes a big difference. It's like you see people on the road, they're going fast, and then you meet them at the same traffic lights again and again. So be the one that's just calm, driving with your client. You're still going to get there. You'll still do it all in the same time, but.
So good.
And then they'll have in that space allows the creator's energy to work through them, so they can pick up stuff.
Yeah, and I don't feel imposed upon.
Yeah.
This was really important for me.
Which is really important because we're all about self-empowerment. How can I impose upon someone that's after self-empowerment? And actually what happens then if you let your client be in that state, they're going to heal quicker because they're moving into their power as opposed to you being the healer, So, yeah.
Yeah, and I really appreciated your wealth of knowledge, but your beautiful, warm, loving neutrality.
Yeah.
Because and then it makes me as a client able to share things and know that, I'm sharing this because I want to shift it, because we're going to work through it. I don't want to see my practitioner in reaction or
judgment
or just I have to worry about them.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's beautiful for me.
Yeah.
To sit in that energy of just loving.
Yeah, absolutely. And as the practitioner, I noticed that she wasn't in victim mode. So she was quite happy. She could share the depths of her stuff that went on, but I knew she could handle her sharing the depths without me. Do you know what I mean? Because she wasn't playing the victim. If I had a client that wanted to be the victim, we may have spent longer talking about all the stuff that's happened to her, because that's part of her healing, to express this, and I would have treated her differently if she was in victim mode. Does that make sense? Right.
And also for me, I wouldn't have shared that stuff if I felt like it wasn't worth. I didn't want to share that. I didn't want to just be in a story.
Yeah.
Unless I know that things are going to shift and there's a point to it.
Exactly.
It's just an old story.
Yeah, exactly. But I also needed her to share, because in her sharing, I worked out how much she'd healed. I worked out which points weren't right. And that's why she shared with me father stuff. I immediately knew it's not strong enough for me to go down that path because of the way that she explained it and expressed it to me, the way that her body reacted to her expression. Because it wasn't until she started talking about her mom not standing up for you, your mom not looking after you, your mom, that's when the tears started to happen. Did you see that? And then we were like, right, we've got the gateway in. It's mum stuff. Yeah.
You know what I also saw that
Yeah.
was pretty beautiful was how the torture had caused this whole perversion, pedophile thing. It was like inside like the Spanish Inquisition, like of the men being told like the torture is their salvation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you have, like people have to be tortured so they can connect to God, and this complete distortion of how to relate
Yeah.
to the feelings, like all feelings, period.
Yeah.
As it, all feel like, and it kind of, I saw such a powerful healing on the father's side because that all need to be tortured to connect to God was kind of
Yeah, exactly.
gone, and they're in a bit like even the man said that they're in ability to relate to that magic energy, that female energy without that, like their belief that the magic in the woman is dangerous, that magic it was like just totally dissolved out of her DNA, and there was no need for the perversion anymore because it wasn't dangerous.
Yeah, exactly. And in that perversion, that the women no longer need to keep it a secret and use it in a twisted way in order to get their power. Yeah. There is so much to this. Really, really, there's a lot to this whole, which is your life.
Yes.
And interesting, it manifested on the physical body, which is, through the congenital disease.
What I thought was also very interesting that, with that sort of black magic energy and the lightness, I saw that all the time you felt that this repression and this sort of magic and empowerment over you. At the same time, the angels were there unfolding your wings.
Yeah.
So it's like all the time they were straightening you up, but they were folding your wings and straightening you up. And so you actually see that you had these other forces. So you were held. All the time,
Since I was very
all the
little,
time.
they've been around.
Yeah.
So obvious.
Yeah, absolutely.
Protecting me.
Yeah.
I think the other thing I saw that I thought was amazing was like you're amazing. Like your life is an act of grace. Like everything you've become, everything you are. Oh my God.
Yeah. Yeah. Aww.
I loved seeing the dance of the DNA.
Yeah.
And the DNA came together, like her mom DNA and her dad DNA kind of embraced each other. And the dance was so beautiful. It's like we're not fighting anymore. We're in harmony.
Yeah.
And it made me realize sometime when I'll probably have to do it with my kids, because my husband is not from the same country as me.
Yeah, exactly.
So just doing this for the kids,
Can heal so much.
Yes.
Which is why world relations class is so important, people. Yeah. Yeah. Cool bananas. Now, I wouldn't want I as a practitioner, the most profound thing for me was her stepping into the energy of grace. Yes. So I would really, as homework for her, I'd like you to, what does that mean to you? How does that play out in your life? 100, list of 100, list of 200, just write about it, be it, until you really embody it and become it and get to know it, and how's it come to your life? Because I feel like when you go through the gateway of grace, you'll find more of yourself. So it's almost like by doing that homework, you will actually embody more of yourself. So I think that would be quite important for you. Yeah.
I also say that from watching you gave me such permission. There's a part of me that kind of like let go of the woo-woo, angel, dark magic, demons, entities, energy, and the way that you do it with such, I don't know, it's just majesty and accuracy, and there's no drama, but it's just so honest. It's like you just say what you see.
Yeah, well, because I came to the point, I was like, it's a curse, her mum didn't want, and then I was like, her mum did, all right, we can deal with this, her mum didn't want her. I was like, okay, let's just stay there,
Yeah, but I'm familiar with her.
Yeah.
I was in Peru and I was a practitioner shaman for over a year, being in the remote jungle. And
yeah, so you know all about it.
And they live in this paradigm of black,
yeah,
good and evil, black and white.
Yeah, exactly.
Very
But
familiar.
it is. But the way that you do this stuff is you link it back to being grounded. We linked it back. Oh, it's mother stuff. It might not have been like voodoo with dead animals. It could just be this kind of energy. So I was very gentle. And then she said to me, oh yeah, this was the family line. So then I was like, okay. We're okay here. We're okay to deal with this, you know? So you have to be grounded and make it gentle and then see the response. And if they're not still getting it and the energies, you've got to just keep grounding. Okay, it's ancestral. And then it grounded it even more. Torture, Spanish Inquisition, pagan thing. You know, we got more and more of the story grounded. So it wasn't so woo-woo, because that's actually part of her ancestral history. But yeah, on that note, be gentle, ground it, look for the reaction, and then keep going forward. But I also trust that I won't see anything unless the client's ready to heal it. So if I don't see, because maybe a week ago we might not have seen the curse. Maybe she just hypothetically, I'm sure you would have been a week ago ready to shift this anyways. But a week ago she may not have been ready. So it wouldn't have come up in the healing to shift. Does that make sense? So after doing this work for so long, I absolutely trust if I am in alignment, on the pretext that I'm always in alignment, not out of my own stuff, I trust the information that comes through impeccably, that it's actually what's need to be healed right now, even if it does sound weird and obscure.
But that, honey, that caused an awakening in me.
Yeah.
That is beautiful.
Yeah. But ground it.
Yeah.
Ground it, make it normal.
You are normal, this is funny.
Even if you have to explain the history of their country. Some people don't know the history of their country. That's why it's so important to be aware of different cultures, different religions, be aware of it. Then you understand when it flashes up, it's like, because I actually knew at the beginning of the healing, I got DNA harmonization. It might be a bit of a world relation healing. I got that at the beginning. I was like, oh, okay, interesting. But I'd let it go. But ground it, make it normal. If you have to explain how black magic works, if you have to explain how it passes down through the culture, explain it, because that's going to ground it for them. So that it's not some weird thing. Otherwise, they're going to walk out thinking, what strange curse is this strange woman doing, do you know?
That though, which is really great. You did explain about black magic being taking away the free agency.
Yeah.
Which is the difference between black magic and what we do in
Yeah.
things. So like you grounded it that way.
Yeah.
It's really beautiful to watch.
Yeah, exactly. Because we're spiritual beings. We know all about, on some deep subconscious, we all know about curses and black magic. You know, we grow up with it in cartoons. It is part of our culture. But just ground it and make it normal and it makes sense. Then it's not woo-woo. If it makes sense, it's not woo-woo anymore, is it? It's not some weird, strange thing. It makes sense. Okay, there you go. There's my little soapbox. Ground it, make it make sense. But the other thing, just on that note, and then you guys can go for lunch after I've told the last thing, hopefully. When you do a healing, you're here not only to heal them, but you're here to bring clarity to the client's past, their present, and their future. Which means that in the healing, you might need to join the dots. This is because of that. Or ancestral stuff, and join the dots. Do you get me? Keep joining the dots. Now that you've got grace, this is how it's going to help your life. Or now that you've moved into empowerment, how's that going to shift your relationships? You know, do you get me? Join the dots. You should be joining the dots so the person walks out going, wow, I really know why I had that in my life. Now I know why I don't need it in my life. And now I can live in a new way. You know, once you get that clarity for your client, they make really big shifts. If you don't bring that clarity to them, they're going to feel, well, something happened, let's hope it changes my life. Do you know? But they're not going to get give them clarity, who they are, where they've come from, why, their soul lessons, if there was karma involved, if they're, you know, what they grew out of, what they're learning, how it's helping their life. And that makes an amazing session. And you feel better too, because you've gotten clarity. You're not like, what the fuck just happened? What was that strange thing that I don't... Yeah? Okay. Any questions?
I just want to say that's mastery. It was just such a pleasure to watch.
Yeah.
It really is. You're a master. Amazing.
Aww.
How do we become like you?
You do every single level of Theta healing. No, it's practice. It's practice. I mean, like, how many times have I done this? A lot. a lot practice. I'm just grateful that you guys are willing to learn how to do this. This is the most important thing, that you're choosing to because it's an art. Healing's an art. That's why I'm telling you. But at the beginning, I said it's an art. It takes time. It takes practice to translate, to listen, to wait, to hold, to be guided, to stop, to wait, to be patient, to deal with the demons, to hold love. You know, it's all part of the dynamic mastery of healing. Yeah.
It's like you're dancing through the healing.
Yeah.
It's dances in your blood, isn't it?
Yeah.
Grace and
But you know what I realised?
How do we do that with stomping?
Do you know what the key is? The key is it's all one, it's true, yeah. Boom, boom, crash, bang, whoops. Hip hop, yeah. Break dancing.
Breakthrough dancing.
Just go, that's why always just go in with curiosity, fascination, and compassion. That's it. Be fascinated, because then it will reveal itself. Be compassionate, because then you're holding it and nurturing it all. That's it. And have fun. Have fun. Because, you know, that's the key. Anyway, there you go. You're now allowed to go for lunch.